My brother said he was helping my mom settle in, so why was she locked out of her own house? And why was her home listed online for $950 a night? My name is Marcus Hale. I'm 34, and 3 weeks ago I gave my mom the one thing she had quietly dreamed about her entire life, a peaceful oceanfront home with a wide wooden porch where she could sit every evening and watch the sunset. Growing up, she used to slow the car near houses like that and smile softly, saying, "Imagine waking up here every day, even when we could barely afford rent." So this house wasn't just a gift, it was her reward. Or at least it was supposed to be. Until one Tuesday afternoon I got a message from her neighbor, a single photo of my mom sitting on the curb outside her own house, hands folded like she didn't belong anywhere, and my older brother's SUV parked in the driveway behind her with a caption that read, "I think you should come." And without replying I grabbed my keys and drove 4 hours straight, telling myself there had to be some explanation. But deep down I already knew because my brother had always been the kind of person who slowly takes more and more until nothing is left. When I arrived, loud music was blasting through the quiet neighborhood, empty bottles were scattered near the porch, and there he was, standing exactly where my mom used to sit every evening, laughing like it was his place. So I walked inside without knocking and instantly felt like a stranger in my own gift. Shoes I didn't recognize, people I'd never seen sitting on the couch, my mom's photos gone from the walls, replaced with emptiness. And then I saw her sitting in the corner, too quiet, trying to smile when she saw me, saying, "You didn't have to come," like she wasn't being pushed out of her own life. So I knelt beside her and asked gently why she was outside. And after a pause she whispered, "They needed space, just for a while." And when I asked how long, she said, "Almost 2 weeks." 14 days of being made to feel like a guest in her own home, and something inside me went still as I stood up and faced my brother, asking if he had moved in, and he casually shrugged, saying they were helping her just because the house was too big for her, too big for the woman who had dreamed of it for decades. And then I noticed the laptop open on the table, turned it toward me, and saw everything, a listing with photos of the house, her bedroom, her porch, her kitchen, all online, under the title Luxury Coastal Getaway, priced at $950 a night with bookings already coming in. And when I asked quietly if he was renting it, he smirked and said it was smart not to let it sit empty. And in that moment I looked at my mom. She looked small, like something had been taken from her and she didn't know how to ask for it back. And that's when I reached into my bag, pulled out a folder, and calmly said I didn't just buy this house, I protected it, placing the document on the table and explaining it was held in a trust where she was the sole lifetime resident and no one else had rights to live there or profit from it. And as the trustee I controlled who stayed, and by listing it online, taking deposits, and turning it into a business, he had violated the agreement, his confidence fading as I told him he had 45 minutes to pack and leave or I would call the police for unlawful occupancy, fraud, and undeclared rental income. And for the first time he looked unsure while my mom quietly cried, not from fear, but relief. And when he asked if I'd really do this to my own brother, I answered without hesitation, "You already did it to her." And that was the moment everything broke as they packed in silence, no attitude left, just the sound of drawers opening and bags zipping until 30 minutes later they were gone, and the house felt lighter, like it could finally breathe again. So I changed every lock, reset every code, and walked back inside, where my mom stood in the middle of the living room, slowly looking around like she was trying to believe it was hers again, and I placed the keys in her trembling hands and told her no one would ever take this from her again, not anymore. And she looked at me with tears and whispered, "I thought I lost it," and I shook my head and said, "You never did." And that evening we sat together on the porch watching the sun sink into the ocean in complete peace. And yesterday she sent me a photo of herself smiling on that same porch swing with a caption that said, "It finally feels like home." For more stories like this, make sure to subscribe.